Are there giants roaming the West Virginia hills? A local museum is convinced that there could be. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I am the best Virginian. I bring you West Virginia history and travel videos right here from the mountain state of West Virginia. And today we're going to delve into the paranormal a little bit because we are going to be talking about the Wv Bigfoot Museum of Sutton, West Virginia. If you like this video, you might want to check out the one I did on Sutton's other cryptid museum, the West Virginia Flatwoods Monster Museum, which is like 2 blocks away. I'll put a link to it up here somewhere. Definitely check that out. And if West Virginia monsters and cryptids are something you're just generally interested in, you also might want to hit that subscribe button. And if you're 99.9% sure you're subscribed to the channel, you might want to double check because it seems like YouTube has been unsubscribing people here lately, so just double check it for me real quick. Anyways, yes, today we are going down to the West Virginia Bigfoot Museum of Sutton, West Virginia in Braxton County. And I know what you're thinking, Best Virginian, isn't Bigfoot a West Coast cryptid? Like, what are they doing in West Virginia? That's something that has actually fascinated me for a very long time. There have been reports of giants, especially giant hairy humanoids, coming from pretty much every corner of the earth for as long as there have been people in those corners. Of course, the West Coast has Sasquatch, Nepal has the Yeti, Indonesia has the Pindic, Japan has the Habagan, and the exotic land of Florida has the skunk ape. But here in West Virginia, we have the old men of the mountains and yahoos. Yes, even here in West Virginia, there are different types of Sasquatches. I'll explain it here real quickly. I did a video a few years back talking about the yahoo of West Virginia. They tend to be kind of shorter, I think like 6-ish feet tall, covered in black fur. They tend to be more aggressive, throwing rocks and small trees at people, and they're identifiable by their distinct very loud scream. That's where the term, the yahoo comes from. This very loud scream that they're able to produce. By comparison, the Bigfoot that we're going to be talking about in Braxton County is often referred to as the old men of the mountains, which they tend to be a little bit taller, between about 8 and 9 feet tall. They're much more chill. While it has been reported that they toss small rocks towards people, it's seen as much less aggressive. More so they're either trying to scare people off or just trying to get some type of reaction, just try to see how people will react to this kind of interaction. I have also heard of these types of Sasquatches described as the Watchers. They just kind of hang out in the woods and just generally enjoy watching people either try to find them or interact with them. And there are several accounts of these creatures in the Braxton County area going back decades. One of these accounts is from the Oil Creek area of Braxton County. In 1978, a local bow hunter was walking down a hill from a family farm to their hunting camp when they saw a large creature laying down in some bushes. The hunter thought it was a person in an animal suit trying to play some type of prank on him. The hunter began to yell at this creature, trying to warn them of the dangers of running around during a hunting season wearing an animal suit. And he even went as far as to waving his bow around at the creature, again, trying to stress how dangerous it was for someone to be dressed up as some type of animal at this time of year. When the creature passed in front of a barn and some trees, the hunter estimated the creature was probably about 9 feet tall and that its stride was about 5 feet per step. This is when they realized what they were looking at probably wasn't a human, and it really creeped them out. They began running down this hill to their camp. The creature was covered in about 4-inch long black fur, head to toe except for its face, with it being stated that the hair around the creature's shoulder was notably longer. The creature's face was described as long and harsh with wrinkles that made it look almost like dark, cracked leather. Another sighting happened near Sutton Lake during deer season of either 1988 or 1989. A 12 or 13-year-old hunter was returning to their grandmother's house, and the hunter heard a noise followed by a very distinct weird odor. Now, the hunter turned and saw a creature that was about 7 foot tall, and I love how they described this next part. The creature looked like Andre the Giant covered in fur. That is a great description. The fur was a mix of dark and light browns, and the face resembled that of a human-ape hybrid. The odor was noted being that of a mildewed or wet dog. The creature ran about 100 yards very rapidly, breaking branches and knocking over saplings as it went. Years later, the hunter would tell this account to their father, who would reply with a similar story from the same area, with a run-in of a very similar creature. And this brings us to the Wv Bigfoot Museum itself. Located in the Mountain Laurel Country Store in downtown Sutton, like 2 blocks away from the Flatwoods Monster Museum, the store offers local artisan goods, antiques, West Virginia memorabilia, general merchandise, but it's also home to the WV Bigfoot Museum. Going through the marked doorway, flanked by a wooden depiction of one of these old men of the mountains, you land in a room full of castings, accounts, depictions, and lots of Bigfoot merchandise. But this is only part of the total collection. The store is currently working on an expansion that they hope to have open in time for the annual Bigfoot Festival in June. They even have a map of all the sightings of Bigfoot across West Virginia, including one big thumbtack near my hometown in Wetzel County. And it's really cool just seeing all the different castings and the different skulls, the different fur samples, things like that are in this museum, along with some of the accounts and creatures that are kind of Bigfoot adjacent. For example, there is a whole little display dedicated to the Yeti or Abominable Snowman, which is, I guess, kind of like the Nepalese cousin of Bigfoot. But again, it's just cool seeing all these individual pieces brought together by different Bigfoot enthusiasts. Now, there are big plans for the town of Sutton, which I hope to get into in another video here in the upcoming week. And I think that's where I'm going to wrap it up for this video. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you haven't yet, down below, leave a like, leave a comment if there's any other places in West Virginia you'd like for me to visit. And until next time, don't forget to stay wild, stay wonderful, and I'll talk to you later.